Om Namo Narayana and welcome back to chapter 77. That's it. This is the final chapter of book 1 of the Ramayana. There are 7 books total, and I will be reading all 7 here. This has been quite an adventure. Quite something I really didn't know what I was getting into. I mentioned in a couple videos, like the first one, that I had read an abridged version of the Ramayana, and I hadn't even read the whole thing, but what I have read of that is uncomparable to this. I mean, it's just like, that's nothing. That tells you nothing. That's like summarizing Moby Dick over 100 pages, or Ulysses by James Joyce over 50 pages. It's the Reader's Digest version, it's the Cliff Notes version. It's nothing. This story is so elaborate and so rich, and there's so much to it. I was watching a video by my guru, Sri Acharya, recently, and he actually had someone ask him about the Ramayana, and Sri Acharya came out and said, this is not a story. This is a paraphrase of his words. He said, this is not a story, this is not myth, this is a true story with true people and true events. I respect him more than anything. He is my guru, an amazing guy. And while I think, I think Rama's real and Sita's real, and yes, these kingdoms may be real, I do have trouble sort of putting that into my brain and making it function right, because we talk about here kings doing things that last hundreds of years, and empires that may or may not exist today that we've never even heard of outside of this book, and people doing things which seem impossible outside of an X-Men movie, you know what I mean? So it's hard for me to go, yes, you're absolutely right, Guru, this is absolutely true. When the king did penance for 1,000 years, obviously he did. It's hard to do that. Now, interestingly, just the other day in the news, or was it YouTube or something, I saw some video with somebody, I don't remember what it was, but they were talking about how there was a mass destruction on the earth that wiped out all these old civilizations, and so we've lost all these great civilizations. Man wasn't created 6,000 years ago, or 5 or 8,000 years ago. We go way, way back. I believe that because if you read the Vedas, this is a well-formed religion that's, at this point in time, 8,000 years old. These texts are about 8,000 years old. This is a well-formed, well-created thing that didn't just grow up over a century. But where are those cultures? Well, if this guy is right, if the scientist is right, something happened and they're gone. So we take that and we put it together with Sri Acharya's thought, and actually, maybe, these people did exist, and these kingdoms did exist. Kind of like I often say, if the Library of Alexandria was still around, our minds would explode. The whole view we have of the ancient world would probably be completely different. That being said, even if these places did exist, to say that someone did penance for 1,000 years is still a little bit unbelievable, but this is not in the Kali Yuga, this is in the previous Yugas, and things were different in those Yugas. And if we truly believe the Hindu scriptures, things truly were different. There was magic in the world. I don't know. Your thoughts below on what you think. Is the Ramayana true? Is it not true? Is it just fiction, and that's it, and it's just a nice story, like Paul Bunyan? Or is this a story of Rama and Sita, but it's been changed? So we really don't know their stories. Kind of like some people say, the story of Jesus was changed. He was a real guy that lived, but nothing at all like what happened to him. Is that what we're looking at? Or what? I don't know. Feel free to put it down below. And with that, let's just close out Book 1, Ramayana, and I'm just going to say right now, thank you for joining me on this wild and long and time-consuming journey. Hopefully you found benefit to it. If you like what I do on this channel, please check out my other videos. That's a given. Also, you can support me by buying books that I write. I am an author. There is a link down below. I have written tons of books on different things, lots of music stuff, but also fiction and other little ramblings, and that's just a great way of supporting me. And so with that, let's dive into chapter 77, Ayodhya Arrival, ending book 1 of the Ramayana. When Parasurama had gone, Rama, the son of King Dasartha, who had a peaceful mind, gave the unmatched bow and arrow to god Varuna. Then Rama saluted Vashishta and other important saints. Seeing his sacred father, that son of the Raghu clan told him, "The son of Jamadagni has gone. Please give order to the 4 divisions to the army to march towards Ayodhya as its supreme commander. O king, O father, direct the army that is under your control. They are waiting for your order like a Kshataka bird waiting for water." Hearing the words of Rama that Parasurama had departed, King Dasartha was filled with joy, hugged his son. Having done that, smelt his forehead, and felt as if his son had taken a rebirth. He ordered his army to go speedily, and when they reached the city it was decorated by banners and flags, resounding with the playing of trumpets, delightfully looking forward to the king's entry. The royal highways were sprinkled with water, with flowers strewn on them, and auspicious musical instruments were being played. The city was filled with people who were waiting for the king to return. That great and famous king, followed by his elegant sons, entered the city where the citizens, including the Brahmins, who had come from a long distance, had gathered to welcome him, and then he entered his home like the Himalaya mountain. The king and his house were honored by his relations. Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeya with the slender waist were busy in welcoming the brides along with the women of the royal house. Thereafter the wives of the king welcomed the highly fortunate Sita, the famous Urmila, and the daughters of Kusadwaja into their home. All of them, holding auspicious substances and shining in their silk dresses, immediately went and worshipped the gods in the temple. Then all the daughters of the kings paid homage to all those worthy of being paid homage to, and went to their individual houses, which were like the house of Kubera. They gave cows and grains and satisfied the great Brahmins. Then they enjoyed the company of their husbands happily. Those great sons, with no one comparable to them in the earth, in their valor and competent in use of arrows, along with their wives, served their father and obeyed his commands. After the passage of some time, King Dasartha addressed Bharatha, the son of Kaikeya, and said, "O son, the heroic Yudhajit, who is the son of the king of Kaikeya, and your maternal uncle, has come to take you to their home. O knower of Dharma, he has made the same request in Mathila when we were with great sages, and it is only proper to make him happy by going with him." Having heard the words of the king, Bharatha, the son of Kaikeya, paid salutations to Dasartha and Rama, embraced Lakshmana, and together with his wife Shatrugna started for their journey. That valorous great man was bid farewell from King Dasartha, Rama, and the others, and he departed with Shatrugna. After the departure of Bharatha, the strong Rama and Lakshmana worshipped and served their god like father. Obeying the orders of their father, they looked after the welfare and well-being of their citizens. They looked after their mothers and requirement of their mothers in a disciplined manner. They supervised the welfare of their gurus and their needs at appropriate intervals. King Dasartha started liking them very much for their good conduct and character. They were liked by the Brahmins and other citizens of the country. Rama, who was truthful and greatly valorous, possessed many virtues, and was famous for the people of the kingdom. He was like Lord Brahma to the living beings. The sensitive Rama always fixed his mind on Sita, his heart being dedicated to her, and several seasons went by. Sita, being chosen by his father, became a darling to him, and his affection towards her increased further due to her prettiness and great virtue. For her husband acted doubly because they were communicating their thoughts revolving in their heart as well as those born there. In beauty she was equal to gods, who had assumed human form. She was also a personification of goddess Lakshmi in wealth. Sita became especially dear to Rama because she was born in Mithila and the daughter of Janaka. That Rama, being the son of the royal sage, and pretty every moment, united with the daughter of the excellent king Janaka, shined like Indra, the king of Devas, and possessed joy like Lord Vishnu, who was with the goddess Lakshmi. Thus ends Book 1 of the Ramayana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.